If your doctor told you that the most important medicine for your blood sugar is the food on your plate, they left out the second most important medicine, and it is not in a pill bottle. It is not a shot, not a powder, not a 30-day cleanse sold on the internet at 3 in the morning. It is a slow walk to the end of your driveway and back, taken within 10 minutes of finishing lunch or dinner. I have been a practicing physician for more than 20 years, and I want to share with you today one of the quietest, most powerful tools we have for blood sugar after 60. A tool that does not cost a single cent. A tool you can begin tomorrow morning before the coffee cools. And a tool that research has shown may help lower the spike after a meal by a margin most prescription drugs cannot match. Imagine a river that has just been hit by a summer thunderstorm. The water level rises fast, the banks overflow, and the town downstream floods. Now imagine a series of small, gentle rainstorms spread out across an entire afternoon. The river rises slowly, never overflows, and the town sleeps soundly tonight. That second river is your blood sugar when you move after a meal. The first river is your blood sugar when you sit in your recliner, watch the news, and let the carbohydrates from dinner crash into your bloodstream like a wave breaking on the shore. Here is the promise I want to make to you today. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what happens inside you after you eat, why most people are doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, and how a roughly 2 to 10-minute walk can change the entire shape of your afternoon. While I have you, pause the video for 10 seconds, look at your most recent blood sugar reading, and type it in the comments below. Whether your number is 110 or 180, our community wants to walk this road with you, and your honest number might give someone else the courage to share theirs. Now let me walk you through what is really happening inside your body in the 60 minutes after you set down your fork. The bread, the rice, the pasta, the fruit, even the sugary yogurt you thought was a healthy choice, all of it is broken down in your stomach and small intestine into a simple sugar called glucose. That glucose pours through the wall of your intestine and lands in your bloodstream within 15 to 30 minutes. Your pancreas, which is a small organ tucked behind your stomach, hears the warning sirens and releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin is the key that unlocks the doors on your muscle cells and your fat cells so the glucose can leave the blood and enter the cells, where it is burned for energy or stored for later. In a 25-year-old body, those doors swing open easily and quickly, and the blood sugar curve looks like a gentle hill. In a 65-year-old body, those doors are stiffer. They grind a little, they take longer to open, or they only open halfway. As a result, the glucose stays in your blood longer, the curve climbs higher, and it takes 2 or 3 hours to slide back down to where it started. That high curve is what we call a post-meal spike, and spikes are the silent engine of nearly every diabetes complication you fear, from cloudy vision to numb toes to a tired heart. Here is the part that may surprise you. The spike is almost entirely under your control, not through exotic food, but through the simple decision to move your legs after you eat. Information this specific is rarely shared in a 5-minute office visit, and it is almost never the headline of a pharmaceutical ad. I am putting it in front of you for free, so please hit subscribe and turn on the bell so we can sit across the table from each other like this every single week. Let us get into the science, but in plain English, because the why matters more than the what. When you walk at an easy pace, your leg muscles begin to contract, and that contraction, even at a stroll, opens tiny doors in the muscle cell wall called glucose transporters. These doors respond to movement almost immediately. They pull glucose out of the blood and into the muscle, where it is burned as fuel for the walk itself. In a study published in the journal iScience in 2022 from the University of Houston, older adults who performed gentle leg muscle contractions while sitting, what the researchers called soleus raises, showed a substantial drop in the peak of their post-meal glucose, and a large reduction in the insulin their pancreas had to release when compared to sitting still. Separate research by Di Pietro and colleagues at George Washington University, published in the journal Diabetes Care in 2013, showed that 3 short 15-minute walks after meals improved 24-hour blood sugar control in older adults better than one single 45-minute walk done at any other time of day. The lesson is not the exact percentage on the thumbnail, but the direction of the arrow. Movement after a meal consistently moves the needle down, and the older the body, the bigger the benefit, because the older body has the stiffest doors and the most to gain from anything that helps them swing open. The optimal window is the first 10 to 30 minutes after your last bite. The optimal intensity is a walk at a pace where you can still talk in full sentences, but you could not comfortably sing. The optimal duration is somewhere between 2 and 15 minutes, depending on your knees, your weather, and your dinner. Now let us address the excuse I hear every week in my clinic. Doctor, I just ate, I am full, my stomach is heavy, and if I walk now I will cramp. Cramping after a meal is common, but it is not dangerous, and here is why. When you eat a large meal, your body redirects a large share of your blood flow toward your stomach and intestines to handle digestion. If you sit completely still, that blood pools in your gut, and the gut muscles work harder against gravity. When you walk gently, the leg muscles act like a second heart, pumping that pooled blood back toward the trunk and helping digestion rather than fighting it. Most of my patients who started with a 2-minute stroll reported within 2 weeks that their post-meal bloating dropped noticeably and their afternoon energy climbed. The cost is zero. The equipment is a pair of shoes and a safe sidewalk. The doctor's warning on this habit, and please do not skip it. If you are on a beta blocker for your heart rate will not rise as much as it used to. So please judge the walk by how you feel, not by a number on a watch. If you have neuropathy in your feet, the numbness that often comes with diabetes, choose smooth ground, wear shoes with thick soles, and check your feet every evening for blisters that you did not feel. If you use insulin and your doctor has warned you about low blood sugar reactions, carry a small glucose tablet in your pocket before you walk, because moving on top of a full insulin dose can occasionally push the number lower than expected. Let us talk about a story from my own practice, because numbers mean nothing without a real person behind them. Meet Robert, a 72-year-old retired veteran I will never forget, who came into the clinic with a fasting blood sugar around 163 and a 3-month average near 8.1. Robert had been on metformin for 6 years, and his morning numbers refused to budge no matter what he tried. He told me with a quiet frustration in his voice that he had given up on feeling better and just wanted to feel normal again. We did not change his pills on day one. We changed his afternoons. Robert began taking a slow, 10-minute walk around his block immediately after lunch and another 10-minute walk after dinner. He did not change his meals in the first 2 weeks. He did not join a gym. He simply stood up from the table and walked. After 14 days, his fasting reading had moved down toward 141. After 90 days, his reading sat near 119, and his 3-month average had settled close to 6.9. Robert is not a special case drawn from a textbook. His body is the same aging body you have, only with a different habit attached to it. This story is shared to illustrate what consistent post-meal movement can look like under real conditions. It is not a promise of a specific number for you. Your local physician is your pilot, and these numbers are the map. By now you may be wondering about a few practical questions, so let us walk through them together. The first question is, what counts as walking? Standing still is better than sitting, but it is not the same as moving. Light housework, washing dishes, folding laundry, gentle gardening, all of these count as movement and all of them help. But the research most strongly supports actual forward walking, even if it is only across the living room and back. The second question is, what if I cannot walk outside? Mall walking in air conditioning, walking laps in the living room to music, marching in place beside the kitchen counter, all of these work. The third question is, what about the weather? On a hot afternoon, walk indoors. On a rainy afternoon, walk the hallway. On a cold afternoon, bundle up and walk the driveway. Excuse is the enemy of habit, and habit is the friend of blood sugar. The fourth question, and the one I get the most, is what about my medications? Most diabetes medications, including metformin, glipizide, and empagliflozin, work nicely alongside a walk. A handful of medicines, particularly insulin and the sulfonylurea family, can occasionally push blood sugar a touch too low when paired with movement. The fix is simple. Check your number before the walk, bring a small snack, and tell your doctor that you are walking more than before so they can adjust doses safely. Now I want you to are this with one friend who has been tired of being tired. Send this video to someone you know who collapses into the recliner after every meal and wonders why their afternoon is a fog. The recliner is not a treatment. The walk is. Let us talk about the 2 mistakes most people make after lunch and dinner that undo the good work of their meals. The first mistake is the afternoon nap. I love a good nap as much as anyone, but a long nap taken within 30 minutes of finishing a meal is the perfect setup for a steep blood sugar spike followed by a sleepy crash that wrecks the rest of your day. If you must nap, wait 90 minutes, keep it short, and walk for a few minutes before you lie down. The second mistake is the sweet dessert while sitting on the couch. When you eat a slice of cake while fully reclined, your muscles are quiet, your doors are closed, and the sugar from that cake has nowhere to go except into storage as fat and into your bloodstream as fuel that never gets used. If you want dessert, eat it, but walk for 10 minutes first, then enjoy a small portion. Your muscles will be open and waiting, the sugar will land gently, and you will still feel good an hour later. While I have your attention, tell me in the comments which of these habits you will try first: the post-meal walk, the standing break, or the 90-minute wait before napping. Be honest, because one honest answer becomes another person's permission slip. Now let us build the full afternoon system, because one habit alone is good, but a system is great. The system has 3 daily anchors, one after breakfast, one after lunch, and one after dinner. After breakfast, take a gentle 2 to 5 minute walk around the house, then sit down for your green tea or coffee. After lunch, the anchor meal of the day for blood sugar, take a 10-minute walk at a pace where you can talk but cannot sing, ideally outdoors in daylight if you can manage it, because daylight helps your body clock and your metabolism at the same time. After dinner, take another short walk, even if it is only 5 minutes before you sit down for the evening news. On days when your knees hurt or the weather is ugly, march in place beside the couch for 90 seconds, rest for a minute, and repeat. Inside 2 weeks, your post-meal numbers will tell a new story, and inside 4 weeks, your 3-month average will start to nudge downward. If this plan feels worth your 14 days, please like this video now, because liking it tells the algorithm that more people like you need this kind of honest, plain English content, and it pushes the next video into someone else's hands tonight. Now let us close with a picture of your future self, because motivation without a picture is empty and easy to forget. Imagine 10 days from now finishing your lunch, pushing back from the table, slipping on your shoes, and stepping out the front door without that heavy, foggy feeling in your chest. The sun is on your face, your legs are moving, and you can already tell that today is going to be a good afternoon. You walk past the mailbox, past the neighbor's dog, past the corner where the sidewalk curves. You feel your calf muscles wake up, your breath steady, your thoughts clear. By the time you circle back to your front door, the food you just ate has begun to settle into your muscles instead of pooling in your blood. You sit down on the couch, and 50 minutes later your blood sugar reading is a touch lower than it would have been yesterday. That feeling, the feeling of control, of partnership with your own body, is what consistent post-meal movement quietly gives back to you, and it is the most affordable prescription on the market. I want to leave you with a clear, honest disclaimer, the way I close every video on this channel. I'm your partner in health here, your teacher, your translator of studies, but I am not your treating physician. Anything we have discussed today is educational in nature and a starting point for a conversation with your own doctor, not a substitute for that conversation. Your local physician is your pilot, and I am simply the voice in the back seat pointing at the map. You should always run any new habit, exercise, or supplement by them, especially if you are already on insulin or any medication that lowers blood sugar. The headline number on this video refers to a very specific seated muscle activation protocol published in peer-reviewed research. And while your individual results may be smaller or larger, the direction of the benefit, blood sugar moving down after meals when you move, is well supported across many studies on post-meal walking in older adults. Please keep that distinction in your mind as you act on what you have learned. Take care of yourself tonight, eat your dinner a little lighter if you can, and after the last bite, walk to the end of your driveway and back. I will see you very, very soon.